Hi, it's Paul again, back after Newcastle United get a point on the board in the opening day against Aston Villa down at Villa Park. I've just literally watched the match and one of the kids has thrown up. They want to come home, jump in the car and give me a quick thoughts upon that. I'm split down the middle because on one hand, if you'd have offered me a solid point away from home, first game of the season after the shit show that we've had at times over the summer, the entire circus about that Swedish rat, I'd have absolutely, slapped your hand, no other striker, blah, blah, blah. Square pegs in round holes, etc., etc. Yeah, I'd snap your hand off for a point, Villa are a good side, they've got a good manager. It can be a hostile environment, a stadium. Today, I think a lot of them were still on the summer holidays, to be honest. It didn't really have that normal intimidation when you go into a place like Villa Park with the history and everything else that it brings. But, yeah, a point on the face of it, given the situation that we've been in, you'd think happy days. But given the fact that we played a significant part of that game with an extra man, we didn't do enough with that extra man. And it seemed to be, after he went off, that maybe was a bit of the turning point. I think both sides sort of thought, look, a point is a point, Again, we bossed the first half, but it was the old adage, if you don't fucking make hay while the sun is shining and so on. And it proves the point yet and yet and yet again. You've got to take your chances when you get them. And it just does come down to that lack of a focal point. Gordon trying his best, doing a job. However, again, he's not a striker. He hasn't got that striker positional sense, the instinct, etc., etc. So he did his best in difficult circumstances. He ran a lot. He tried to make things happen. On another day, some of the chances that we had early on, the Elanka, those go in, and you think that's absolutely fantastic. If one of those chances had gone in the first half, and you win the game 1-0, you think it's an absolute tactical masterclass. But unfortunately, when it doesn't, you're sort of scratching your head and thinking, But I'm definitely of the opinion, it's glass half full as opposed to glass half empty. I'm happy with that. I'll take that. And we go on to now the first home game of the season at St James's Park against Liverpool, Monday Night Football and all of that. You see, you have Jamie Carragher going around there clapping and applauding like a fucking seal. But yeah, we go into that game. I watched them last night. I wasn't, compared to last season's Liverpool, I wasn't as overly as impressed with them as a unit. I thought their midfield balance wasn't there. I thought they were very gettable with regards to full-backs. I think, we could have a bit of a field day, hopefully, against them. And if the right Newcastle United turns up, hopefully we sign a striker, maybe two strikers. We get rid of a rat as well. And, who knows? Perhaps might wait until Sunday or Monday to be able to get rid of him so he's not registered in time. That would leave a bit of a sore taste, wouldn't it, in your mouth, if he, after all that he's done against the club, turns up for them wearing a red shirt on Monday Night Football. So probably better off to wait on that one a little bit. But certainly if we can get Visser in and maybe another one in on top of that in readiness for Isak to then go after the game, perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think we'll give him a game. I think we can give him a contest. It's a rerun, obviously, the League Cup final. And again, another Newcastle United 2-1 victory would do me absolutely, perfectly, absolutely fine. But back to today, main things is no injuries. Joe Linton gets booked. That's just a given. It's like night and day. Sky is blue, sun is hot, all that sort of thing. Joe Linton gets booked. How one or two of their players didn't get booked, I don't know. I'm still scratching my head about that one. But yeah, I was shouting in the last 5-10 minutes, especially, to go at them. But, when we needed that little bit of extra, maybe from the bench, to change the system, change the tactics, to shake things up, we just didn't quite have the quality in the attacking areas to be able to do that. But I'm sure Eddie Howe, I haven't listened obviously to his team talk, so he's pressed stuff out like that. I'm sure that Eddie Howe will be happy with a point on the opening day of the season. It's not a ground that we historically do great things at, so to get a point is a point gained most definitely. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, if you will. And yeah, I'll leave it there. But just please, before I finish, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on all of our socials. We're on literally fucking everything, but obviously a big season, 211,000 people now following us across the community. It's absolutely fucking mind-blowing. But if you could just do that little bit extra, and if you aren't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the follow button, whatever it may be. Get in the comments, hit the likes, and yeah, I'll leave it there. Take care, keep it tuned. We got a point. Happy days. It was nice to see some football. And I'll speak to you later.